Well, hello, Breakfast and Body Slams fans, viewers. Uh, Welcome to Thursday Night Slam, and I'm one of your hosts, Chio Frost. I'm going to get through some of the cheap plugs as we always do. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out and tell everyone to please listen to these following shows. All of our sports teams at Devereaux Sports. You can listen to them while they are in the Last Out Media studio on Devereaux Sports on Facebook exclusively. That's right. Go to Devereaux Sports on Facebook, like, share, comment, subscribe. Check out all our shows out there. Us, the Gobbler Inc., Sullivan Show, and many more. Um, Also, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at the Tornado Tag Podcast, Anthony and Eddie and Andy Header, every Friday night at 9 p.m., as well as our good old buddies, DB Richards and Sweet Tea referee, Dave Keener, over at the 2300 Wrestling Podcast, as well as for expiring wrestlers out there who are just getting started in the business, you might want to check out thewrestlelife.com, as well as Till We Make It on YouTube. Now, we're not going to waste any of your time. Today's guest, not right now though, not right now. We will have ring announcer extraordinaire Dave Adams and one of the Northeast top indie women's wrestlers, Debbie Kane. They'll be here shortly. But right now, I want to bring one of my brothers in here, and he's going to kick us off with some news notes and whispers. What he got, he has not told me yet, but this is Dennis Reaper.
Oh, it's me? I'm on? Oh, dang. All right. What's up, Chio? How you guys doing over there?
We're good. We're good.
All right, so since we're doing news topics, apparently Nyla Jax decided to cause a little spiff up on Twitter by posting, first she posted thank you with her folded hands emoji and a heart, and the internet went nuts. Thought she was released, all this and that, and it was hilarious because I was watching this go down all day. So at work, I was on the internet. And a fan post, you can't post cryptic tweets like this and leave. You have me stressed out. And then she responded with pure gratitude, which left everybody like wondering, what are you talking about? And she goes, oh no, just pure gratitude to everyone, never taking anything for granted in life. Love you all so much. So I'm guessing Nyla Jax pair. The rumor is Nyla Jax is taking a leave from WWE. That was released earlier today by multiple sources. Now, I'm not going to say the internet's true. It's the internet. I can't guarantee that. But if Nyla Jax is taking time away, you know, all of us wrestlers, we take a beating, physically and mentally. And sometimes being on the road or being at home, and doing tapings are stressful and very grueling. So to Nyla Jax, because what really set it off the other day was growth. She posted, growth is painful, change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong. So that was really a cryptic tweet. When you post that, in my opinion, I think you're going to get released, okay? Or you quit. But that's when all the rumor wheels started saying she was released and she quit and mental health issues and all this and that. And we all know Nyla Jax has been the queen of controversy in the past year or so with, hurting wrestlers. Some her fault, some not her fault, Someone gets hurt in the ring with you. If it's if it is on you, it's on you. But unfortunately, some of them weren't. But the fact that she was just saying pure gratitude, her saying thank you to the fans, plus her taking time away. So that was that. But the other rumor mill now that just popped up on Facebook Apparently, Goldberg's going to show up on Monday Night Raw.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And apparently it's going to be him challenging Lashley.
Well, the funny thing about with social media and all these Twitter stuff, a lot of stuff does jump into rumor mill, especially if you notice like the past couple of years, more and more wrestlers always throw out the weird tweets, and it always makes you go, are they leaving the company? Are they going somewhere else?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? And it turns out you can only believe anything that they put out there is because when they're doing this stuff, they're actually working the workers.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
But your sound, I think you're having sound problems.
Oh, you don't hear me?
No, I can hear you, but you keep cutting in and out, and your video is staticky on some parts. It's like you're getting a lag. Yeah, I don't know. I can see you, but I can tell you're having issues on your end. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I don't hear him now.
Can you hear me now?
I see him now. I can hear you now. It's like
okay. I don't know.
A little bit. It was like how did it sound? It sounded like it was computerized, like robot.
Yeah, that's what yours is doing to me. I guess we're going robotic.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get through this stuff eventually. We're gonna work out the kinks. Every time it's something different with us. I don't know, but yeah, the whole thing with Nia Jax. I don't see her leaving the company anytime soon. No. I think he's going to be a homegrown until Vince and them decide, hey, we don't have nothing else for you, and then we're just going to let you go, and that's pretty much it.
Yep.
And she's gonna, so.
I have nothing to say.
You have nothing to say about Nia Jax?
No, I like Nia. I like Nia. Everybody needs a break.
Yep.
You're on the road. If not on the road, you're performing weekly every day. 3-4 times, taking bumps night in, night out. That's not including the training they do. So if she needs to take a break to get away, that's good. Refresh her batteries. Let her get where she needs to be. Fresh mind, fresh start. Who knows? New title run.
I agree 100%.
I got a question. With that little hiccup that we had here with the audio, how do we sound now? We're good?
That sounds a lot better now.
Because you sound fine with us. Okay.
Yeah, you sound a lot better now.
Cool. We're going to keep this ball rolling. And we're going to, if that's all you have about Nia, we're going to segue over to my man T here, as he has some news,
rumors, and all types of possibilities.
Yes, about the New Day.
New Day. Well, thanks to Wrestle Talk and Wrestling Daily, I got my little news from them, and they put out something very iffy. What we have going this weekend is Money in the Bank, correct? We have Kofi Kingston. We have Big E. And they're both on big matches. Big E on interview stated that when Kofi Mania was running wild, the big boss man, he said it so casually without saying his name, came to the idea of breaking up the New Day after Mania. It was going to do it before, but like maybe after. But New Day said no. And he said, that would like basically take out all the possibilities of what happened after Mania and all the wonderful moments that we had. He goes, and we still got a lot of good moments coming up, which brings us now to what I was talking about, Money in the Bank. I don't care about the rumor bills. Look at it. As you have Bobby Lashley versus Kofi, right? You have Big E, who is basically the front runner to take that briefcase. Unless, unless Riddle comes up, it's going to be Big E. And that's facts. So the whole celebration process, what if Kofi gets Kofi Mania? What if part 2 happens? Could Big E cash in that night? Do we have a turn? Could Kofi turn? Ooh. Maybe he wants to keep the belt. Maybe he feels some sort of way. Big E cashing in on him. What up, big homie? Where you doing that? What are the possibilities? And then you got Woods, who wants to be king of the ring. What happens with king of the ring? When you ring king of the ring, you get a title opportunity. Guess what? Now you got 3 main runners chewing up the same tree. Remind you of something familiar? I remember a few years ago we had Night of the Champions, and we had Dean Ambrose come in as champion. We have Seth Rollins beat Ambrose, and then we had Roman cash in, which gave everybody their shine. They were all champions in one night. Who knows? SummerSlam, we got the same process all over again.
Well,
What do you think?
well, here's the thing. As we were talking on the way over, you know, my thing, I believe you said you would love to see it too as well, is Kofi turn heel. What do you think, Dennis? Kofi turn heel? Can you see that?
No,
Why
no,
not?
Exactly. You can't see it happening. That's
I
why
don't.
it's perfect.
No, I think Xavier would be way better as a heel.
He would, but honestly, would you see that coming? That smug face Kofi? Nobody would see it coming.
Now, what I'm seeing is they pulled a Shawn and Marty. I'm saying Woods cost Kofi the championship match against Lashley. You know, Woods tries to apologize, this and that. Kofi pulls the Shawn Michaels thing, with Marty. It's going back to like that picture they took where Big E was Brutus and Kofi was Shawn and Woods was Marty in that whole barbershop window picture. I can see it happening, honestly.
I I don't see Kofi turning, but I would love it because that would be like nobody sees it coming. Everybody sees the other two. Nobody sees Kofi coming. You know, what if Kofi gets that break? He becomes that heel. And Lashley goes on his own or whatever, or he takes Kofi in into the new fact. You can roll with this ball so many ways. You can have Big E join the faction. You can have all types of things, mass chaos. I think personally they should each get their shine like they did with the Shield, given they are the greatest tag team by basically records, not by personal. I'm talking about accomplishments they did in WWE.
Now, I was saying this in the ride over here, and you were hating on me for it, which I can see that happening, because I like to think outside the box. I like to think a little bit crazy, and I was saying about what if, listen, what if by chance, not right away, but maybe down the line, what if all New Day turns heel and they join MVP and Lashley as for the Hurt business? Dennis, what do you think of that, Dennis? Talk to me.
No, that'd be horrible. I think. I don't think it'll happen.
One or two.
And it's not that. It's not that. It would catch me off guard. It's again not. You can't put random people this group with MVP anymore. Like,
thank you.
I get it. It'd be catch everybody off guard. It'd be the talk of the internet. But at the same time, what you would be doing is jeopardizing money by doing that. Like, no offense, but New Day is still one of the hottest selling products that they have. Whether we're all over the New Day and this whole thing, but they're the hottest selling ticket in WWE still as a group. So you can lose one of them, but if you put all three of them and turn them heel, then you're going to get the New Day that you got in the very beginning where people were chanting New Day suck. And now it took them how long to get over? Almost 2 years.
Well, I actually, it's funny because we were talking about, you saying about, I never seen Kofi heel, and we were arguing about it in the car. Well, we wasn't really arguing, but I was saying about, remember when they actually started as the New Day? They were basically heel.
like a church group.
Yeah, but he's like, no, they were never heel. They never heel.
They never crossed over. They were
still heel.
They were
They were
born.
brought in.
They were
No,
put
they
together
as heel.
no. When Vince put them back together, when Vince put them together, they were a heel group.
See, told you. They were.
It didn't work that way though.
But they were a
It
heel
never-
group.
it
The
never
fans
took
hated
off,
them.
so they kept them as face. So,
No, they were a heel for almost a year because the fans
Well,
hated
the
New
fans
Day.
hate John Cena. Is he a heel? Like,
yes.
But the New Day were heels, though. They cut heel promos. They made it pretty clear, and then finally they started to change
the fans
and
liked them.
transition.
Yeah, it was the fans that changed them. That's what it was.
To me, it was straight face because the fans they never reacted to a heel way. You know what I mean? They were always okay. We rocking with Kofi. I don't care. You know, they stayed true. You may try to swing it that way, envision it that way, but it never worked out that way with the fans. You know.
No, I get what you're saying.
And we're the ones that buy the tickets. We're the ones that go to that arena. So if we say, nah, he's our face, he's our face. And that's why they stay, you know, the way they're like, okay, we can't do anything. They're not going to go anywhere. So they stayed face. To me, they never really progressed to that heel level. Whenever you seen Kofi basically curse out an audience and bloodied up somebody. Never to me.
Well, you don't need to curse out the audience and make someone
But
bloody to be a heel.
But you know what I mean. Like grab the attention of them.
But yeah, like if you look back at the of New Day starting as a group, they were a heel group. 100%.
No, he's totally gonna disagree with us no matter what.
When the fans are with you, the fans are rocking with you. I'm sorry.
I told him, me, you and Pat, we're all gonna have different opinions. We're all gonna disagree with each other. There's stuff that I like that you guys are gonna disagree with, and same thing, vice versa, all around. So it is what it is. And speaking of heels and baby faces, and you know, there is a heel babyface combo duo that actually jumped in our room recently. They're right now in the green room, collectively known as the Double D's. Let's bring them in. Dave Adams and Debbie Kane. Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Welcome.
She's the heel.
Oh, she's the heel.
Now, if she decides to put a sleeper hold on you, I'll pay her $10.
Oh man.
And I will clap, so that'll make her the face.
Listen, it's like Triple WA payday, so
she can make a killing at the convention next weekend. If she paid $10, creepy guys would be paying her $10 for headlocks all day long.
You probably could make a killer if you tell guys, listen, I will slap you for $10.
What's the dude's name?
Like, I'm not bullshitting you.
Anthony Fabro.
I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about. He
Anthony Fazio.
Probably,
yeah, him, Fazio. That's right. Yeah. I couldn't think of his last name.
Yeah, super fan. That's
yeah.
Right there. He always supports.
Look, I love that guy. That guy is 100% the greatest fan in indie wrestling in the East Coast.
You know what he'll do? He'll take a picture with me, and then like 2 months later, he'll get that picture blown up and customized, and he makes the picture look amazing. And he's like, "Can you sign this for me?" And I'm like, "That's awesome." I'm like, "How did you make this little tiny picture on your phone look amazing?" He takes the time to like make everything look so nice.
Look, he's taken probably about a dozen photos with me, and not once has he asked me to sign the goddamn things yet. But I got you beat. This guy gave me Super Bowl Baltimore Ravens figures.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Very nice.
So I'll take that over the photo.
Oh, well, first and foremost, let me rewind real quick. Thank you for having us on the show. It's very awesome. Thank you.
You know, I was trying to just have Debbie on, but you talked me in. It was a package deal. Hey, if you book her, you got to book me. Man down. But yeah, everyone, this is we were trying to get multiple couples on, but it's so hard with schedules and stuff like that. So, we're going to deal with Double D's today, and hopefully today maybe we will see Dave's double D's. You know, give us a flash. Put the shirt up, Dave. Come on, Dave. Give it to us. Can you hear us? Can you hear me now?
Let me just try a volume thing here. I think we're up as I think we're up as loud as we go.
Dave, he was asking you to flash him.
Do you have your earpods like I told you to put in your earpods?
Don't have the. We're not that cool. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say you can wear one and she can wear one. But
I turn the air off in the background. That ought to help.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. You got to turn the air off. You know, because I know how hot she is sitting next to you, just making me sweat. Ooh, look at those guns. But anyway, this is our couples edition, and we're gonna talk about what's it like being in a relationship in the wrestling industry. Some of the highs, some of the lows. Whether you were in relationships prior with other people before meeting each other, while you're in the business as well, and you know, any advice to give to new people starting out who's, you know, especially just getting together in this wacky world of wrestling.
Yourselves.
Okay, well, right now we're gonna have you guys put yourselves over by giving the fans out there who are watching a little feedback of who you are, where you started, how long you've been in the business. Go ahead, Debbie. We'll let her start. We don't need you to start, Dave. We're heard enough of you.
Okay, so my name is Debbie Kane. If you don't know, I started 9 years ago. I started training at NYWC, and then I just expanded out to outside companies eventually.
Dave, I guess she's done. You're cute.
I'm next. Well, my name is David Adams here. I'm next to Star Attraction. I'm just trying to follow her acts. I've been doing this gimmick since January 2011, so like 10 and a half years. Started out at Devastation Wrestling Federation out in Pennsauken. Eventually, I worked for a bunch of companies like Triple WA, and I worked for New Era Wrestling Federation, where those two companies, I'm sure I met you guys in the beginning there, and everything just escalated from there. You work a fed here and there, you build your resume, and I've worked for some of the coolest companies around, and I've been blessed to have announced probably a good majority of my childhood heroes growing up. So that alone, if I never make it any further than I have, just getting to announce people that I looked up to, and they treat you like a peer. It's been a pretty fun ride, and I'm not done yet, brother.
So now the question is, how long have you two been an item in this wacky world? Now, did you meet while you're both in wrestling, or was one of you in the business and the other one wasn't, or were you both not in the business and decided to get in together? Tell us your story.
It was an accident. She'll explain.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Okay.
An accident.
Oh god. Okay. So we've been going out for 7 years. We met in the business. The accident he wants to talk about is that I had a friend in the beginning of my career that I'd seen a lot named David. He got hurt, so I messaged him to see how he was doing, but unfortunately I messaged him by accident.
Thank you, Facebook.
And then he became a creeper and showed up at one of my shows, and that's how it started.
Wow. So you were Anthony before Anthony?
No, we when she hit me up, I started talking to her. As I'm talking to her, I'm going through her profile, and to myself, I'm like, this chick's pretty hot. Okay. Looking back at it, I don't give a shit if it was by accident or on purpose. You don't have an opportunity to meet too many girls in the business. That's people think you do, but when you're working shows and stuff, if you're working as a good worker, you're not really trying to meet and hook up with people. You're just trying to get your work in, and to find a female in the industry that understands the culture and the lifestyle. I was on dating sites trying to meet people, and you might get a date or two, but as soon as they find out that your weekends are occupied, and they're like, what do you do on the weekends? So you're not around on Saturdays. Basically, you're not around on Saturdays to take me out. I found that very difficult to maintain any kind of a female, any kind of a female partner at all. So when she hit me up, we started talking, and I was like, "Oh, this girl's cool." And then eventually, we were actually working the same show. It was for D2W, a Wharton-based company in New Jersey, but there was an outdoor festival going on in Secaucus, right outside of like a Giants Stadium and stuff like that. So we worked the show together, and I remember it very clearly. The first time we met face to face, I was hanging out with one of my bros, Mike Dell. He was wrestling on the show. We were eating our free hamburgers because the show gave us vouchers for free food. So we're hanging out, and then she showed up. And I told him, I'm like, yo, there's that chick. He goes, dude, she's hot. And I was like, yeah, we started talking, and I don't know, we got along, and it was pretty basic at first. She was double shotting, so we did our work. She worked, I believe, Deanna Perrazzo at the show that I first met her, and then she had to double shot down for a battle royal. So I didn't know if I'd ever see her again, but, doing my creepy skills, she eventually got addicted to me, and we ended up talking, and one thing led to another. And, I get to call her my girlfriend now, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love to hear stories like this where a love relationship blossoms within the business between like people like used to Bacoa, Sammy Pandora, Dennis and Nina, and a whole bunch of others who workers, male and female, or whichever, female, male, with not discriminating against nobody. But it's very nice that you have someone that you can share your passion of the business with and their understanding. Unfortunately, me coming up all these years in the business, I never had that. You know what? And matter of fact, I always wish that throughout the years that I would find someone and get that kind of relationship. But then going into the difficulties when you're in relationships with people who are not in the business, how you said they don't understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
Debbie, what was some of the complications with men that you probably dated? And Dave, same question as you as well, with some of the females that you probably have dated in the past, of where like you're going to shows, they don't understand. Like what kind of stuff, kind of arguments and stuff like that. Was some of them understanding, or some of them just didn't want to be bothered with the business? Like, okay, it was your passion and they didn't want to be around it, or what? Please explain.
Well, he's my first boyfriend since I've been in the business. But the guys I would like go out on dates would say, why don't you be like a ring girl or a card holder? Why would you want to do that? So basically they didn't like it at all, especially since I was going to be around on the weekend. Just didn't understand their lifestyle, why I would want to be a wrestler.
So I guess they were trying to hold you back from what you wanted to do, and they didn't understand. Like I guess I'm gonna say like the most you could have done was probably, hey, why don't you come and do a tryout? Maybe you might like it and get involved. But I guess they wasn't willing to for acceptance or even try it.
What? Looking at me?
Yeah, it's bad, Dave. You can go next.
I was admiring my sweetheart here. Can you repeat the question kind of again? I got lost in her eyes. Sorry.
Well,
Well,
wasn't paying attention. He does it to me too.
it's pretty much the same question. What I asked her is about how was your prior relationships of them dealing with you being in the business, traveling on the weekend, like was there many fights and stuff like that, arguments, or?
Honestly, yeah, I barely dated for, let's just say, before Debbie, there was like an 18-month span where I pretty much just focused on announcing, happy to take pictures with fans and stuff like that. But like hooking up just wasn't a thing. I mean, all the dates I had they were all like really awkward, and it was just like, yeah, we paid for our own meals, and there was no romantic connection. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. And then you start and I don't really like talking about myself. So once we're talking about and they're like, I'm like, yeah, I'm into pro wrestling, and I'm an announcer. They're like, oh, that's really nice. Is that your job? And then they couldn't understand that I have like I have a job that pays my bills. They're like, well, why do you do that on the weekends? And they couldn't connect that. Sometimes you have a passion, and the job that you really want to do doesn't pay the bills right now. But if you do it long enough, maybe it will eventually pay the bills. And it's really hard to get to that level. But we're all in that same little indie bubble trying to get recognized. Sometimes it takes people a year or two. Sometimes it takes people 10, 15, 20 years. It's really different for everybody. And you could just tell there was just nothing in the eyes of the girls. They're like, oh, okay. They're like, well, it was really nice to meet you. Good luck with everything. And that was it. It was just, I don't know. I really, when I was first breaking in and I was driving everywhere, I became a maniac driving. I didn't care about the money at all. I did plenty of shows for no money, $5, $10. It would be 140, 150 miles each way. I would go by myself. I was living with my cousin at the time. So it's like I didn't really have to answer to anybody. It was just like I came and went as I pleased. I was into it. I met most of you guys when I was doing the Pennsylvania thing. I would go anywhere. I didn't care. I would talk to promoters, and it was cool. And I got to meet so many great people that I still connect with to this day, such as yourselves. And there's chicks at the shows, but I don't know. Like I always, when David Adams is doing his thing, it's like I'm not trying. That's not my thing at the moment. I'm trying to get my work in and do a good job for the promoters and get return business so I get booked again. But yeah, I don't know. There was a long gap, and I'm probably annoying. I mean, she lives with me, so story. I'm the David Adams you see at the shows. I mean, that well-polished young man is not necessarily the well-polished young man behind the scenes.
The wacky, wild, crazy Dave.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I'm sure the three of us can probably all agree with everything you're saying about the whole relationship with being with someone who's not in the business.
Gotcha.
I'm sure you got stories yourself of
Let's play fight. Yeah. All the time.
Look, I dated one girl. I dated one girl that told me I needed to delete all my social media accounts and stop wrestling. And we dated. It was less than a week. Yeah. I think we made it like 3 days, and then I posted on Facebook, going, "Well, that's a record for me. 3 days, and I'm single again."
Well, that's like too. Like at least I found. I'm sorry to cut you off. I found that I was bored of these girls. Like at the same time, it's like all dudes want to get laid. You're trying to hook up, but at the same time, there needs to be that connection. And I was bored. Like they were talking about their lives, and that's awesome. Everybody's got, but it's nothing I could relate to. And it's like, I'm fully dedicated to the pro wrestling business. Given I have my job during the week. It pays the bills. I'm happy with life, but I'm always wanting to get a little bit more content with the wrestling business. So obviously I want to get the work in. I've earned a reputation of being a hard worker and putting over the talent. So it's like, I like to keep that I like to keep that going. And, if you don't have, every good man has a good woman by his side, and she's been supportive of me. She's had my back. I've had her back. We've had our ups and downs like anybody. I don't think it's, if you say that you've never had any, bumps in the road, that's an unhealthy relationship. We've had our fair share of bumps in the road, but we've gotten through them. All the major stuff, like we don't argue about we don't cheat on each other. There's never any, mistrust with money, mistrust with cheating on each other. Every bump we've had in the road has just been like the small things that we've been able to overcome. Yep. And, when I think about it, when I was at my lowest points, she had my back. I got injured a couple years back. She had my back. I couldn't work. She covered the bills and just totally had my back, through thick and thin. And I know that was definitely that was definitely a very testament to our relationship. And she stuck with me through some tough stuff where I was probably an asshole at the time. And I didn't mean to, but sometimes you do stupid stuff in life and you have to learn the hard way. And when you open your eyes, who had your back when you were at your lowest, when, David Adams wasn't doing his stuff, and this girl's had my back since day one. So I couldn't ask for a better partner in life, to go through all the trials and tribulations, all the good stuff and bad.
Yeah, I know. After so many years of dealing with my shit with JoJo's mom, eventually she just pretty much said, I don't give a fuck what you do. Go to the show. Get out of my hair because she knows I was going to the show, and every time I go to the show, she knows I'm taking Jocelyn, and everybody who knows Jocelyn, hey, they know I'm always looking out for her, and I have no time to chase anybody around because I got my eyes right now. With her being older, I definitely got my eyes on her, and I'm watching the young boys in the locker room. Don't be looking at my daughter now.
Look,
So
they don't got to worry about dad. They got to worry about all the uncles and aunts in that locker room that will just take care of it for you themselves. Just saying. There's a lot of them.
Shout out, yo, Joe, got your back.
But we have a question in the chat, and it's from Dave from the 2300. They want to know, when are y'all getting married?
The year was 2020.
Man down.
Oh, man.
And I'm still waiting.
Yo, all serious.
well, hold up. I got a question too.
This
And
is
it's not. Maybe it was. The question was, now, Debbie, you and Dave spent the night at my house the one time,
Oh, damn.
and there was a little munchkin,
Oh.
just a baby. Dave, when you gonna put a bun in the oven?
all these questions we talk about very openly. For the past 4 years, I was living in New Jersey. She's living in Long Island. We did a mini long distance relationship, but we saw each other every.
Let me cut this off. In other words, he's trying to make excuses to try to figure out why it's taking him so long to put a bun in the oven and a ring on my finger.
The honest answer is I was waiting for us to have some financial stability. Also, I was taking care of my grandmother. So
Here's another excuse.
there's no excuse. I didn't want to be grandma's boy forever. And, the circumstances of 2020 have, like many millions of people, have changed my life. Now in 2021, we live together, and now we are building a life together. And when I'm ready, I have full intentions of taking care of business. Thank you very much, everybody that's watching. Wait a minute.
All right. Well, here's a question for you. This is for me.
Yeah, of course.
So we both are dating somebody in the business. What has been the biggest obstacle that you guys have both had to face so far in the past 7 years?
What do you think?
I honestly think it might be when I'm not booked, but he is, and then I want to do a date night, but obviously that's not happening if he's booked and I'm not, or if I'm booked and he's not.
Yeah, we have been blessed over the past 7 years. I'd say that we've traveled to shows 95% of the time. Sometimes she's booked in a different state than me, and we will go our separate ways. But it's been very few and far between. And yeah, sometimes I'm booked and she's not. And Debbie Kane is not the kind of girl that likes to sit in the crowd and watch. She wants to play with the boys and girls. Look pretty, play dirty. And yeah, I mean, so it gets tough sometimes. But
I know for a fact, recently we both went through that, being in two different states. Dave, me and you were at C4, and Debbie was down in Delaware.
it was.
And at the end, I was gonna stick around, but I was ready to fall asleep behind the wheel myself. But you said she's not that far. She'll be here, and I'm glad these guys got a room instead of driving all the way back, because she was coming far enough as it is to pick you up, because you guys took separate.
I know.
Dropped you off.
I was a latchkey kid. I was all alone in the parking lot. It happens though. Yeah, she was down in a Delaware, challenging Gabby Gilbert for the vacated women's title down there, and we were doing WXWC4, and I told her that you can't turn down title opportunities. Even though she fell short that night, I think you had a good experience there, and a lot of people gave really nice feedback about that match. And yeah, I had a great time at C4 doing commentary, and it's always great seeing you, Chio. And yes, thanks for sticking around for a couple of minutes. Yeah, I told I was telling JoJo, get your old man home. You're ready to take a nap. She showed up in about 20 minutes.
I did, however, after I was struggling getting home, I did hit you up as I was almost home to see if these were okay. I guess you were trying to find a Wendy's or something like that. I forget.
Wait, it was funny when you called us. We're trying to go through a drive-through, and Debbie's wearing her gear from Delaware. She got out of there, and the looks that she was getting in the drive-through lane were pretty great. I was like, hell yeah!
Hey, what club you working at?
She's wearing this elaborate, wrestling attire, and people in the drive-through are like, okay, just another night, I guess, in Allentown.
I love those nights when you got to leave from one show and go to the other, but then you're like mid-drive, you're like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom, but wearing your spandex and boots and kick pads, it's like the looks you get are epic. And then when people realize, hold on, they're a wrestler, and they're like, hey, can we get your picture in the middle of like a Circle K? Like, can I please go pee first? Yes. Yeah, cool. Great. And then you come out and they're like, where'd they go? They left. Like, you couldn't wait like the 4 minutes for me to go pee and wash my hands.
Yeah.
I love that. Like when Triple WA wrestled at Zern's, we all have been there. We all know, like when you leave there, we all would go out to eat or go into a gas station. The fans are all from there. So they see you outside and want to meet you outside. Dude, I can't lie. Like when I would go to the diner down the street that was there, I couldn't eat without a person coming up. Hold on, you're a wrestler. No, that's not me. I have no clue who you're talking about. And then my friends would throw me under the bus. No, he's a wrestler. He's just lying. Yes, I am lying. I want to eat my goddamn food.
Yeah.
Like, I can be a heel all day long, and I was always a heel. So it's kind of one of those, like, great moments. Like, I could be an ass in public because I'm an ass. But like when you're a good guy, it's hard to be that guy. Like when I lived down in Orlando, and I was part of the street team, we'd all go out to the Owl House down there, and Devon would literally be eating with his family, and he would never turn a fan away. He'd be like, listen, let me eat, come back, and I will sign your stuff for you. Did not matter how much they had. He would like, let me eat with my family and relax, and I will sign your stuff. And people would wait like hours. Now, did he take advantage of the situation and wait maybe 3 hours and hope they would leave? Absolutely. Do I blame him? No. Because he's like, when he's eating with his family, I mean he's literally eating with his family. Reaper, I'll wait for a picture at Hamburg. You got it. I have them. They should be in the mail soon. They better be here, or I'm not going to have any 8x10s to sell at this event next Saturday. And neither will my guests because, well, they're coming from the same place. But, dude, I mean, it happens. I love it, but I hated it. But, no, I love you guys as a couple. You guys are great. I have nothing bad to say at all. Like, I've known you guys long enough. Like, you guys are always respectful, kind. You guys are adorable, even though you guys don't post anything on Facebook. That you guys are no sweet outings. Get to it, Dave. Get to it. Post some fancy, nicey stuff with your woman. Saying. Uh-huh.
I do. What are you talking about?
Bullshit. Oh, sorry. I had to sneeze. My
shit gets spikes, yo.
All right, I got a question for Debbie.
Ooh.
Currently, right now, what is the highlight, your number one moment with Dave being in this business, or even relationship-wise, just in general? What's your number one moment that you can remember off the top of your head? Wow. Damn, you ain't got one, Dave.
I go to sleep that room. I wake up next to him. We travel together. I would say he's a good travel buddy, but when I drive, he's...
No, wait,
wow.
Bullshit. I call bullshit. We'll be on a 3-hour drive. By minute 5, I'm trying to talk to her, and she's like this. 5 minutes into the drive.
No. Since he calls me out, I don't sleep really that much, but he goes to sleep as soon as I start driving.
But that's your highlight?
Not true.
No, it's not my highlight, though.
What's your highlight of being with them,
I'm not really too sure.
We've been together 7 years. many moments stand out.
Well, you,
What?
okay, I guess that's the highlight. You lasted this long without killing him.
Okay, here. I'll tweak your question, Chio. Maybe it would be a
good.
different way.
Please.
So you guys have been together for 7 years.
Yeah.
There's no highlight. What would you say your favorite moment with each other has been? And what was yours, Debbie, and what was yours, Dave?
Are we talking about in the wrestling business or just in our relationship?
In general.
In general, your favorite moment in the past 7 years that brings you, like, you could be just in a bad, sad mood and you think about this moment and it makes you happy and smile every time. It's your go-to to get you out of a funk.
When I'm in a funk, it's actually he brings me up when I'm down. Honestly, so if I'm like in a mood where I feel like I'm just not like a great wrestler, I'm just not in a good mood, I don't feel like doing this, but I know I have to do this. He's always right there to basically bring me up and just remind me that it could be worse. There's a lot more worse things in life that could happen than me just being in a funk.
Yeah, I mean, and for me, it's not necessarily one moment. And the reason why it's not really a wrestling moment is because usually when we do wrestling shows together, people know we're boyfriend and girlfriend, but we stick to business when we're at the shows.
Mm-hmm.
When she's usually doing her heel thing, I'm doing my baby face thing. I announce her in the ring, but my rule is if you ever see us in the ring together and I'm announcing her, I never make eye contact with her. I just can't because I know that it'll just be weird. So,
it's a fact.
Yeah, I never make eye contact.
That's a fact.
But it's true, man. But as far as just in life in general, I mentioned earlier, I broke my collarbone a couple years ago being stupid. And I mean, I think about that she had my back there. And that's not necessarily that moment that makes me smile. That makes me remember that I probably wouldn't have gotten through that as smoothly as I did without her. But in general, just we were down in Orlando. We went to Disney World together on the fly. We basically, we just anytime we get to just travel together, I don't think there's one set memory that stands out. I mean, the whole 7 years is actually gone pretty fast now that I think about it, and probably makes me feel older than I should because of course I'm going to be 28 forever. That's just
I can kind of relate to that where how you say it just seems like a blur, like when you're just constantly doing shows after shows after shows. Those weeks and months go by so fast, and then when you look back, I'm like, holy crap! I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, damn, it feels like I just started like a couple years ago, and it was like back in '94, and we're in 2021 now. So I'm like, holy shit, where has the time gone by? So,
I would have to say when we go on like in the past, before COVID and all that stuff, we would go on like mini vacations down to like AC and we would enjoy the beach. Like neither of us are big gamblers, but we went down there. We like to people watch, witness the shit show that's down there. And I have this picture on my dresser. We were up on an elevated area and I took this picture of us and it's just the most beautiful picture. It's the ocean. It's us all like this, but there's like one little sailboat that's perfectly like behind us. And I happen to catch a selfie when the sailboat's like right between our heads. Like that, and I look at that picture, and that makes me smile because I think of all the fun adventures we've had in Atlantic City. And last year for my birthday, she treated us to like a 4-minute helicopter ride all along the coast of AC, and it's like the coolest. I recommend that. It's the coolest 4-minute experience.
I think that is shaking his head.
Yeah, it was fun, man. Hey, they take you all around the coast, and it was definitely cool. And when I think back about it, it was very unexpected. She surprised me. She hates flying, and she totally has a fear of heights. And she definitely, took one there, and we both were in the back. She was squeezing my hand pretty hard, but it was good. Like when you're willing to sacrifice your own fears because you love somebody, I think about that. And if I were to think about moments, it's anytime we've gone to AC and just we would go and we would go get those. What's that? Oh, Wet Willies. Yeah, if you've been to AC, you know about Wet Willies and those highly addicting alcoholic icy beverages. What's the one called? Call a Cab. Yeah, it's called Call a Cab for a reason. So
if you ever been to
day drinking in AC, I highly recommend it.
down on South Street in Philly, they have I believe it's what's it called? Not Fridays. Damn, it's right on South Street, but they have slushy machines all across the back wall,
Nice.
and the most potent one is called I think 190 octane or whatever. I took my brother there, and he's a heavy liquor drinker and stuff like that. So
That's
he's drinking one, and he's like, "Oh, this ain't nothing. This ain't nothing." As soon as he took his first step off the stool, he almost like, whoa! Also, he quick grabbed on. I'm like, "Oh, I really kicked you in the boo boo, didn't it?"
Yep.
So
I
yeah,
swear,
really
I've
making
never.
that. Fat Tuesday. That's what it is. Fat Tuesdays on South Street.
I was waiting for you to say it. I
Yeah,
know
I know.
exactly where
I
it
don't know why I
is.
was saying Fridays, but
I swear, I've never drank those drinks before.
Yeah.
I did have a pina colada one though.
And no, I'm not drinking right now on the podcast.
All right. Question is pet peeve. What pet peeve do you have with the other one?
I'm perfect.
He whines a lot. He whines a lot.
Can we get an example?
I can
No,
I can believe that. I
Okay.
can believe that.
He whines a lot.
I don't.
Sorry, but you whine a lot about stupid shit.
Wow.
I don't deal with it with the kids. I can't deal with it with an adult.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I don't want to eat my broccoli.
I'm trying to sleep at night, and all I hear is this.
He's not even innocent either. He does it too.
Look, I won't lie. I was expecting her to say his snoring at night. The fact that she goes, he whines a lot like a little kid is great. And he goes, she snores. Here, it sounds like this. Dude, do you understand that couch it looks comfy.
I know.
It already has a pillow there, so
I'm probably here tonight, so I get it. Believe me.
No, he's gonna sleep outside on the mat while I spray water on him so the mosquitoes can bite him.
oh, that's messed up. That's just not cool.
She's thought about this.
Yeah,
She's very calculated.
I'm 5 steps ahead in my head before he knows.
All right. Now, question. Who does the majority of the cooking in this relationship?
All right. Now, this is a 2-part answer.
Oh,
When I was in Jersey living with my grandma, this girl acted like she would burn boiling water. So I did the majority of the cooking. She didn't like slimy things, like defrosted chicken, you gotta handle it and stuff like that. So I had no problem. She would do the sides and I would cook the entree. That's fine. We moved to Long Island.
I lived in Long Island.
I moved to Long Island. I moved in with this girl. And I don't even know what happened. I figured, all right, no biggie about the cooking. I'm a good cook for a guy. I'm pretty good. This girl steps up her cooking game, and now, before that's why we were delayed tonight is because we were eating. She cooked some delicious chicken thighs, and now she's the one that cooks the entrees, and I'm the one that prepares the sides. So, it's pretty good. Give and take. There's some nights where she's like, "Do you mind cooking?" But for the most part, I would say that we split everything 50-50, and I'm pleasantly happy with that. I have no complaints. She turned out to be a really good cook, got over the whole I don't want to touch slimy things. She washes her hands a million times if it becomes an issue, and we eat pretty comfortably every night. So
Okay, so this is my thinking. It's either I have to heal with the whining of the bland food or learn how to cook. So I learned how to cook to eliminate the whining.
I like flavor. Give me.
Or she played you like a fiddle, Dave, and made you do the cooking first and wanted to see if you actually knew what the hell you were doing.
Probably.
I'm saying, look, I know I'm a really good cook because I learned how to cook from working in the restaurant field and having a cousin that went to school for cooking. And my old roommate used to be a kitchen chef. So I learned a lot of things. So I know I can cook. But I think she played you like a fiddle dog.
Probably.
And you know what? I'm going to tip my hat to you, Ms. Debbie, because if you did, touche, very well played.
You see that little devious smile on her face?
Oh,
That's why I'm saying she played you like a fiddle.
Yeah, probably.
That little twinkle in her eyes, like, I got him right here.
I don't want to touch the chicken. It's slimy and nasty, and I got my nails done.
I just wash it when it gets on my nerves.
Mm-hmm. Look, I wash chicken as soon as I take it out of the package.
Okay.
So you guys had highs, you had lows, you dealt with different situations of between travel, trying to decide if you're gonna have kids, deciding on a wedding date,
I
and
want
all that.
one kid, and that's it.
One kid?
One kid, it has to be a boy.
12, you said? 12?
No. I'm one of 7. I know how that household
He's
goes.
trying to find a new home. He wants to call you mom and dad.
Yeah. We all know that. We all know that I'm probably a genetic jackhammer, and my electric sperm's gonna pop out like triplets or quadruplets.
Yeah, there you go. Just your luck.
Probably.
Yeah, now that I keep saying I want one kid, yeah.
Keep it in the business.
But yeah,
There you go.
at it. When the time is right, I fully plan on marrying this dame, and we will have just one child to rule them all.
You say one.
Pops out 2.
1 of 7. Guess how many grandkids there are?
Oh wait, there's a lot, but because we did talk about this. I forget what the answer was, but yeah,
More than 10? 0?
0. I actually
1 of 7.
her mom
My
and
parents have no grandkids.
her mom and dad actually said, we went out to dinner one night, and her mom and dad even said, we had 7 children. You figure the odds of us having grandkids by now would be pretty good. And then they're like, Adam, you're our last hope. So I'm pretty sure her mom and dad gave me permission to you fill in the blanks of that sentence. I was like, okay, cool, awesome. Can you please? I like some mashed potatoes now, please. And that was at the dinner. No, her mom and dad like me, so they treat me like one of the kids in the family. So it's pretty cool. And I mean, yeah. So we have their blessing. I have a feeling we'll have babysitters and diapers paid for if we have a kid. So it sounds like they're all on board if we have one.
Well, I tell you this much: my grandparents have no problem with grandkids and great grandkids because they spitted out a total of 17 boys and girls. My dad has 16 brothers and sisters. So imagine all my cousins and all our kids.
Yeah,
it's a tribe. Dennis,
God bless her soul.
And that's only on my dad's side. That's not counting my mom's side because she has a lot of brothers and sisters as well. So
Look, I got. Hold on, let me see. Me, my 2 sisters, my half sister, my half brother. So there's 5 of us. My dad was a busy man. I'm gonna say it that way. My dad was a busy man.
yeah.
He was my dad was a hoe. All right, my dad was a hoe. I'm just gonna call it as it is. He was a hoe.
Daddy's a hoe.
Listen, my dad got his first child, which is the oldest one. I don't talk to no more. He met through DJing and clubbing. When he was a DJ. The other one, my brother, that no one really knows about because he's MIA most of the time. We didn't find out I had a brother until he was 16. The lady said it was my dad's and then said it wasn't. 16 years later, we found out it was my brother.
Wow.
And then my dad was married to my mom. And there's me, my older sister, my sister, me, and then my younger sister. But my dad was a hoe. And I know my dad's in here because he chimed in the chat going, I'm watching the show. I'm like, well, Dad, you a hoe. Love you, but you a hoe. Like, I'll call it how I see it. But no, about the whole having kids stuff, my girlfriend's mom, legit, not even a month into dating, said, so when are you going to give me grandbabies? I ain't getting younger. Like, first off, Chico, we just started dating. I already have a child. Can you consider that your grandchild right now? Like, I'm not having kids until, like I get where you are. Like, me and my girlfriend have had this conversation. We want to be financially good. We want to make sure that we both are steady. We have a home and everything is in order. And we can say, you know what? We can bring a child in this world to where we're not going to really stress it financially. And we're capable of not having any problems. Like, yes, when you have a kid, let me say diapers, you're never going to have enough money for diapers. Okay. Let's just say that now.
Yeah.
No. You need like 7 truckloads worth of diapers. If your kid was my kid, my daughter, yeah, she's me. There was a lot of diapers.
Well, I know for a fact if I ever get married, everyone in this room here tonight is all invited. He's looking confused there, huh? What? Huh? You understand what I said?
Because I'm gonna be the one that's gonna do the and now making their first appearance as bride and groom.
I actually heard I heard that Arissa Pappas is ordained. She was telling me.
I've done it for a couple of workers in the business.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Are
Like-
you ordained?
No, ordained means married.
Oh, married. Oh, I've done the emceeing like at the reception when the
No. I mean, she could facilitate the wedding itself.
oh gosh. Yeah.
What's his name, Ken? Joey Longo, how you pronounce it? Ricky Martinez.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
He's ordained.
Lugo.
Corey Cross is also ordained.
Oh wow.
I'm 99% sure he's made it pretty clear he can marry you anywhere he wants to.
Oh yeah. I got Larry Legend is an ordained minister, and
Yes, he is.
He's like, if you guys get married, I'll feel insulted if you don't ask me. Hell yeah.
Look, I won't lie. If me and my girlfriend get married, which that conversation has come up a lot.
Wait, how long?
I don't. Almost a year.
A year. 7 years.
Almost a year. Well, almost a year. But I haven't felt this comfortable and this happy in a relationship in 13 years in this business.
That's awesome.
Like, without a doubt, one of the greatest things that ever happened to me is meeting her in wrestling.
Oh, so your girlfriend's in the business?
She's training.
That's awesome, bro.
It wasn't meant that we like how you guys said you guys weren't, you guys weren't planned to date or anything. Like, neither were we.
Yeah,
It's just kind of like
it's better that time.
a lot of things like we had in common,
Yeah.
I wasn't, and I always lived by this. I wouldn't date anybody that did not have a kid. Because of me having a child, it's very hard to date somebody that does not understand that my priority does not revolve around you.
Yeah.
My priorities is my daughter and my father, because him being handicapped. Those are my two priorities. And she was fully understandable about it. And she's like, I didn't think you'd date somebody that didn't have a kid. I was like, I didn't think I would either. Just happened.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like we planned on dating. It kind of like we kind of liked each other. We kept it quiet for a while. We wanted to see how we felt about it first, and then finally I was like, you know what, fuck it. I was like, I'm extremely happy and with us dating. We'll share that we're dating.
That's awesome.
Unfortunately, a lot of people have had bad reviews about that. I don't really care. That's their opinion, and
Yeah.
And again, I'm not bashing anybody, yelling at anybody. You're allowed to have your opinions. You're allowed to have your thoughts and feelings about it, and us not telling people, but it wasn't that we didn't want to tell people. We wanted to tell some people for a very long time, but I live by when we're ready to tell somebody, we're going to tell you.
Exactly.
And if you keep asking, and if people keep asking, it's going to push the subject of waiting, because it's kind of like how I explained it to somebody. If I was gay, right, and you keep saying, "Hey, are you gay? Are you gay?" Why am I going to come out to you if I'm not ready?
Of course.
That's how I look at it. That's how I've always looked at it. Like, there's a lot of big things that me and her are planning on doing, and I have a lot of big things that are happening behind the scenes for my wrestling and this and that. Usually, if you guys saw, I would always post shit on Facebook. I haven't posted shit lately besides me raising money for childhood cancer, the 24th for them, and ACPW and these podcasts. That's it. And I post every now and I post something about my daughter. That's it. I kind of keep my life off Facebook anymore because it's what drugged me down in all my past relationships, and I've learned that way.
Yeah.
Keep my private life, because I have so many fans on both my regular Facebook that don't want to leave it to go to my wrestling one. So I just keep it private now. Like, I really do. And that's yes, I made a joke that you don't post much about you and Debbie, but I get why you don't. You guys want to have your private life as your private life and not have to be public about everything you do. Like, oh, we went to a ball game, we went and did this. No one needs to know. Just you be you. Enjoy your life, enjoy your happiness. Look, when you find somebody in the business, like you said earlier, it's very rare. It is very rare to find somebody in this business that you can get along with personally, professionally, and romantically.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can butt heads. Hell, you could be one of those like, oh, I don't want you to work on that show because I'm not on that show,
To
or
ask
I don't want you to
them-
announce. Huh?
No, to ask them to any advice that they can offer any young couples that are just hooking up together in the business, who are freshly new to the business, and they just happen to spark fly. They got together. Any advice for them? What to look forward to? The highs and lows, or whatever. Just anything.
I think make a mutual decision as a couple. Either you want to publicly be known as a couple in the business, or you want to keep it to yourselves. You can't have one think one way and one the other. We chose to be open about our relationship right from the beginning. That works for some people. That doesn't work for others. Like, there's plenty of couples that eventually come out, but maybe they think that it'll affect bookings, or they think that the promoters don't want to, like, book them because they think that their relationship will affect business. I don't know. We just never really gave a shit, and we were like, we have our private life, but I think, I'm not gonna hide like bringing her, hey babe, wait in the car for 3 hours or anything like that.
That's not happening.
Yeah, you have to enjoy life together. So either make a pact. And you can agree or disagree. Make a pact to keep it on the down low and just keep your social media profiles business related, or you agree that you can both, post like a cute pic every once in a while, or share whatever you want. Your thoughts, dear?
It's just compromise and communication. Don't hold anything in. If something bothers you, say it. Otherwise, it'll just make the matters worse, and then it just probably won't work out.
It's the simple things.
Yeah,
Simple.
And if you date, and if you're dating someone in the business, stick to one person. Don't be an ass and wander off. There's always
leave those ring rats alone.
Yeah, no ring rats. Try and be respectful of one another, because certainly if you work together, especially if you work within similar circles and companies, if your relationship ends not very graciously,
and
certainly
you still got to work together.
You're still gonna have to see each other. A locker room's only so big, and given there's plenty of people that work the shows, and not everybody shakes hands. It's an etiquette to shake hands now with post-COVID. Some people do fist pumps, but it's okay to just work shows and just avoid each other too. But that's just you torturing yourself. I love this business. Of course, you want to make money, but eventually. But I love this business, and I like having fun at it. And I would, it would be horrible if something happened with us, but we were still booked on the same show. There'd be a lot of mean mugging going on. Probably her mean mugging me, and me just, I'm whining in the corner. Oh my God.
Whiny little bitch.
Oh, God, yeah.
Whiny little bitch.
I remember one show, my kid's mother, when we dated, we got into the car and she lost her shit. She's like, that girl was hitting on you and this and that and you and a lot. I go, first off, I worked for, this was LVW days when I was one of the guys that was a good guy and the fans liked me, and I was in good shape. I wasn't fat and chubby. So I had to explain to her, I go, there's a certain image that these fans like to see. Women fans like to know if you want you to pretend that you're single, technically. Are you? No. A lot of them are not single men. Some are, some aren't, some don't care. But I never allowed a woman to cross that line as a fan that would put my relationship in jeopardy. Like, you want to take a picture with me? Absolutely. You want to give me a kiss on the cheek? Okay, but that's as far as it would ever go. And it wasn't like I told every girl, kiss me right here. Like, no. There was times where the girls were just like, they would hang on me and take the picture. Like, I didn't take it as sexual or flirting with me. Like, I never looked at it that way. She did, and she lost her shit. Then she stopped coming to shows because of it. She's like, I don't want girls all over you. I'm like, well, this is professional fucking wrestling. This happens when I go out and sign autographs and take pictures with fans. You need to deal with it. I'm sorry. Like, I am a 26-year-old male that's in great physical shape that wrestles half effing naked, okay? That's like going to Chippendales and they want to take pictures and Debbie's like, fuck you, babe. I'm getting the picture with this guy that's like 6'4", jacked as shit. As long
as he's hung like a donkey, that makes it totally okay.
But that's the thing, you know what I mean? Like, I know you wouldn't, you ain't going to take it as, oh, she's going to go and flirt. Like, you understand they're performers, and she's going to see performers. Like, yes, let's be real. Half the performers in this business and any other business are a bunch of sleazeballs.
Yeah, it is an art form because
yes,
me and her have had this talk. Girls have loved to hug me. Never kisses, but girls have loved to hug me. And we've had this talk where she was like, listen, I'm not jealous or anything, but I don't really like it when girls try and hug you. Can you try and, so now it's like, you don't want to be rude to a fan, but like, so if somebody tries to hug me, I'll usually now turn the hip in and I'll just be like, I was like, a handshake will be great if you don't mind. And like, they're usually cool about it. I haven't gotten too much bad feedback about it. But, I figured if it bothered her enough that we had to even have a talk, it wasn't like a fight or anything like that, but it was more or less respect your girlfriend. And if that bothers her, then let's see if we can do something about it. She understands that, fans, just like with her, guys are going to want pictures with her and stuff. And I think we just have that mutual understanding. And yeah, I've been able to minimize the hugs quite a bit. And all it took was just some good, honest communication. Some people try, not talk about it, and then it builds up, and then it culminates into a fight. We just had an honest talk about it. I understood where she came from, and I've adjusted my fan skills accordingly.
Well, Dave, Debbie, it was a pleasure talking with both of you. If you two want to stick around, I'm about to bring in Pat, and we're gonna talk about Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, who just recently been passed away.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to stick around, you're more than welcome to. If you've got to run, because I know you just had dinner, so Dave probably have to go sit on the toilet, maybe.
Thanks.
So
Appreciate it. Sure. That's how we're gonna end the conversation with me taking a dinner. Nice.
It happens. But yeah, I'm about to bring Pat. I want to thank you. Hey, is there any particular social media that they can check you out? Is there a .com or anything where they can see either one of you for your upcoming events?
Go ahead. What's your Debbie Kane? She will. Both of us are going to be. You'll see us lingering around next weekend at the Legends of Hamburg convention. Deb's going to be there causing trouble. I'm going to be the official MC hype man host for the Legends of Hamburg convention. So I'll see you guys there. She's got a title match next month, the Funhouse of Wrestling, run by the legendary Magic down in Bayville, New Jersey. The first ever Funhouse of Wrestling Women's Championship will be decided between Debbie Kane and her arch rival, Gabby Gilbert. Those two have been working each other up and down the coast, all the way from Pennsylvania to Jersey down to Alabama. So
that's someone that is an underrated wrestler right now. Is Gabby Gilbert?
Most definitely. But yeah, like I said, if you guys want to stick around, you're more than welcome to. Bringing in Pat, the Gobbler, to our room.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hey, whoa. Before anyone goes anywhere, I've sat back here. Dennis would now know I enjoy this whole couple conversation with you two, Dave and Debbie. And I want to say, kudos for you guys doing this, because me and my wife are two former workers who got into business together. She came from WXW, I came from DWF. Anyways, I met her through the business, and here we are, 13 years later, married, 3 kids, a great house. But yeah, it does work out. Key advice: stay away from the business. Key advice. You think okay?
No,
because only why I say that. I mean, stick together, go to shows together, because there are going to be people, and I see that you guys are in an interracial relationship, which makes it people want to come to get involved in that. Listen, it was tough for me and my wife, because my wife is a African American and obviously Caucasian, but sometimes it was difficult because they didn't want to see us together. Some people, family didn't want to see us together. I've been through every trick of the trade when it comes to interracial relationship in the wrestling business. The highs and lows.
Man, Pat got a sister. He must be hung.
um, hey, listen. Anyways, it's the pros and cons. The pros is just stick together. You guys can have a fun time, learn from each other, help each other out, work with each other, all that stuff. Go through the cycles, set the tone, help each other out, make the adjustments where needed, work on things together. Like I said, the locker room is going to be the tough part because there's going to be dogs back there who's going to be checking one of these two out. They don't care whether you're in a relationship with one another. They just they're going to come at you. So, like I said, I've seen it. I've been around it. Um, Still to this day, there are dogs out there. I have to let them know who the big dog is.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh, if people like us, that's awesome. If they don't like us, they have a problem. Screw them. I'm not afraid to tell anybody that. But yeah, man, we just stay focused on ourselves.
no, they don't. Right? They don't care about feelings. They don't care how long you've been with somebody. They look. It's a dirty, dirty business.
Oh, yeah.
The pro wrestling, what people see in front of that camera and that curtain is a different world behind that curtain camera. And coming from a guy like that, I've been with with my wife. I've seen people try and shoot on her. She's seen people. I could recognize a shoot from me being in the business for so many years, and people trying to lie to my face and say it was an accident. I've seen that being done. Like I said, she could see stuff, a mile away. She's seen, um, you know, things trying to come at me, and she blocked that off too. So, um, but like I said, like you guys had an understanding of what each other and respecting each other, and that's all it's about: being honest, being respectful, wishing being there for one another, and that's all that matters. I'm telling you, it will get you a long way, and um, that's how if you want to be successful as a couples in this business, that's what will get you. Trust me, I've seen it work, and I've seen a lot of couples go through it. I've seen promoters knocking up wrestling girls, and and trust me, they can't work, but they're suing what the year because they got messed around with promoters.
Yeah.
It's just they don't have to pay dues; they pay another way. Um, I, I've seen, like I said, I've seen this business. I've seen some dirty stuff in here. Um, Matter of fact, I mean, like I said, I could pull you aside off camera here and tell you some crazy stories that I've seen and witnessed. But yeah, it's
In our fair share too. I'm with you, bro. I hear you.
I'm telling with some big names too. Um, but yeah, like I said, just guys stick together. Like I said, be honest with one another. Be there for one another. I don't care how ugly it is. Just be there. Be honest. You guys can kind of get through this as a young couple. I see in this in the industry. Just like I said, just be there for each other. Walk in together. Make sure she's okay through her match. Make sure that you're there and be sure you're there. The first one she sees after that curtain, before she leaves to that curtain, make sure you were there. Make sure she's okay. Same thing, vice versa. She does the same for you. You're ready to get on that mic and start dropping names and all that stuff. Make sure that you're ready. And like I said, just be there for each other. To shorten it up, like I said, I've been in the game for 10 years. My an injury and me being on my honeymoon caused me to walk away from the business. I mean, I had a WWE call me for 2010. Before the Tough Enough came out, and they told me hand in their tape. And they told me, look, they said, hey, listen, but like I said, I had my interview with the WWE. So, and this is before Tough Enough when you came out. So, like, if they're trying to get me in there first before anybody, like, the job was there. However, I was on my honeymoon in Dominican Republic. So, you're going to go in there by yourself, or am I going to go with her? So, like I said, I've seen some stuff with this, with the company as far as wrestling.
I appreciate the advice, bro. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, but back to Paul Orndorff.
Yeah.
My man, Paul Orndorff, a childhood wrestler of mine that I grew up watching. First of all, my man came through in 1976, feuding with the one very young Jerry Lee King Lawler. Then he wound up taking the title off his hands, then going to Ernest Cat Miller. Ernest Ladd, Ernie Ladd. He feuded with him. He played college football for a little bit. And then he obviously was tag teaming, I believe, with Paul Roma in the early '90s. But however, I mean, we all know what sticks out with Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff is his match, WrestleMania 1, him, Piper, Hogan, T, uh, Cowboy Bob Orton as his manager. I mean, the rest is history. So, um, yeah, that he was one of the best heels that ever, ever shagged the road, man. He was the dude. So, I mean, it's a shame, man. Great Hall of Famer, and then just went up past him.
Yeah,
So,
he passed away at the age 71.
one,
It was revealed that he had dementia and had been placed in a medical facility. A bunch of
he
other stuff, like
he was down.
he even
Yeah.
overcame cancer several years ago when he was being diagnosed back in 2011. See, I got my homework. I got my sheets out here too. I
Yeah.
remember everything. But yeah, he's been struggling and like even coming up in the business, like how you see, like, if you ever notice his arms, the one arm was bigger than the other because he had a
Yeah.
muscle in there as well. And you were saying about him teaming with uh Paul Roma.
Paul Roma.
They were pretty wonderful in WCW, but he had a great career in the WWF, especially being a part of the Heenan family and stuff like that.
You know what? And
great.
he was one of those workers who didn't need a belt to put him over. Like usually you see that, like,
No.
I mean, his body spoke for him. He had the great might work. I mean, he was, man. It's like you said, the whole Heenan family is no longer here. Like I showed the stat the other day with you guys. Hogan's WrestleMania opponents 1 through 6 is no longer here. Like that's crazy. That's just it's just mind-boggling.
And the thing was, he was fortunate enough to live long enough to be inducted into the Hall of Fame
Yeah.
in 2005. And that I'm
You're right.
just like I feel bad for the guys who passed away and then get inducted years later who never got the opportunity to see their recognition in person. So that kind of hurts sometimes when you see any of that. I know one of my favorite Paul Orndorff moments had to be the match on Saturday night's main event. Him and Hulk Hogan inside the steel cage,
Uh,
and they both hit the floor at the same time, and they had to restart the match. That for me, that was great. But the other one that tops that though was the other Saturday night main event where he turned on Hogan. They had that the whole vignette of every time he's trying to get a hold of Hogan on the phone or whatever. Hogan's working out. He's busy. You can see the frustration build up. They're working against Bundy and Stud, managed by Heenan. And then there at the end, he takes out Hogan. Bundy and Stud come in. They do a number on him too. And that's when he joins the Heenan family.
Hogan was like really like the heel. I mean, first of all, he was, right, like you were just saying, Paul Orndorff is trying to get a hold of him. He's got to work out. He's doing all these other things. You have a reason to punch this guy in the face. Then, WrestleMania 5 shows up. The man is like helping out Miss Elizabeth. You're not supposed to go there with another man's wife. And the dude gets slugged for it. Like the dude was like, he was the Stone Cold heel before Stone Cold heel. You know what I mean? Like he was a real heel, like doing some nasty stuff with and then he's still getting over his face. It's incredible. But back to Paul Orndorff, not to get all rails here. I mean, like I said, he had the mic work, the body. He just had the whole total package in one deal. It's just like I said, he didn't need a belt to go over. He was already there, and it's just, oh man, it's just incredible. And you look at his legacy.
Dennis, what is do you have a Paul Orndorff moment?
I don't, unfortunately. I never really watched much of his stuff. I know who he is. I've heard the stories. But I never really got to like watch any of his stuff really, even though I have the network. But so there's nothing. I don't really have anything I could really.
None of us have the network. You got
I had the
Peacock now.
network. No, I had the network.
You got that bullshit Peacock now.
Yeah, we have a shitty ass software system that taking over our wrestling world, but it's what happens when money talks. You know, you throw money at someone that's a lot, they'll take it. But no, I really, again, I know who it is. I know his legacy he left behind and the road he's paved for a lot of us. You know, so I have nothing but thanks and appreciation for all the guys from back in the day that really started and paved the road for us of today. But stuff about him, I don't really have anything, unfortunately, because I know, like I said, I never really watched wrestling as a kid. It was more of like I watched it in middle school, and then that was about it, all the way up.
I mean, I just like I said, like if that was somebody you want to learn how to work a heel, he would be one of them. You know what I mean? Like the dude had it. Um, that's like I said. He was. I know, like one of many guys who walked out with a robe. But when he had it, it was like if you could pull out like swag, him and Flair would be your two top guys who ever rocked the robe.
Now, T, you have an Orndorff moment yourself.
WrestleMania 1.
WrestleMania 1.
That's
Okay.
his highlight. That's his
Well,
moment.
yeah.
And yet nobody remembers he was in the main event like that. You know, but he was main evented that night. Mr. T, Hulk Hogan, Roddy
Yes.
Piper. That's his moment. That's what I remember. I wasn't big of a Orndorff fan. I'm more of a Rick Rude guy.
I think, honestly,
Yes,
I think,
yes.
But to me, when I saw Orndorff and Rude do the same thing, I'm like, my little like carbon copy. So, you know, I went with the true heel in Rude because he had what you were saying, swagger. Rude had that swagger.
Yeah. Can't leave out Rude.
There's no way
God, no.
Orndorff had Rude swagger. I don't think not many people have Rude swagger.
No, not at all. Now, I did
honestly
not know.
I
I'm sorry.
honestly believe that Paul Orndorff probably could have had a good IC run. You know,
He should have had
I agree.
he should have had a title run.
Yeah.
He I didn't know he was trained by Bob Backlund.
I don't have that info in front of me right now, so I couldn't even tell you if he was or not.
Yeah, I'm reading my reference here, and it says he was trained by Jack Briscoe and Jerry and Bob Backlund. So look, you learn from the best right there.
Yeah.
We have a couple other topics we can touch on. We honestly we have not have gotten political in this room ever once. I don't believe. So here, there are two things that popped out at me. One of them is a little bit more not really big, but it's out there. I figured, I'll just mention it, and that's Linda McMahon, the former president of WWE, and she was a Trump cabinet member. She was pretty much Linda McMahon. It says here in the top of the article, she accompanies Donald Trump to press conference announcing lawsuits. Now, she was appointed this was before this though. Administrator of the Small Business Administration when he took office, but resigned her position in late March 2019 to take a senior position. A senior position as the chair of the pro-Trump super PAC, America First Action, to help him get reelected. Now, I don't know about you. Back in the day, I actually really liked Linda McMahon, but then when like I'm not gonna say she's a bad person, but at the same time, like when you seen her come out all the time, she was very likable. She's very likable when you watch her on TV and stuff like that. But then when it shows that she aligned herself with him at this time during his while he's in office and stuff like that, you start questioning about the people's integrity, because I know still is a close fan of the McMahon family, and I know Vince is probably right up there, maybe with the same thinking mindset of Trump, but he never puts it out there on air for people to see, to judge him. Uh, and you notice he keeps his politicalness pretty much out of WWE, except for that one time when they had what was it? They had skits on Raw. I believe it was like someone was dressed up. I think it was I want to say Bill Clinton, and I think someone was probably would have been Bush or something like that, or I forget what campaign was going on at the time though. But it was like the only time I ever seen him really get political of bringing other characters that represented presidential candidates on the show. But like I said, that's only a minor thing that I didn't want to touch on, But it was there. I just figured, what the hell, why not? Um, but the one that I want to bring up is Joe Biden, and this is going to affect the WWE business. Um, President Biden asked the FTC to work on banning non-compete clauses. So, with that being said, for that situation there, if they ban the non-compete clauses, McMahon pretty much have a angle when he releases them, whatnot, and they will be able to work elsewhere. So, do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing to ban the non-compete clauses?
I think it's a bad thing. It's very, look, I work in, and I'm not just saying for wrestling standpoints. I've worked in all the fields. I worked in the RV industry. I've worked in other industries. You take that away, and if that person left the company on bad terms, they can give an advantage to another company down the street. With that, so taking that away from the WWE, doesn't benefit anybody. That 90-day clause is the benefit of the wrestler taking 90 days off. It does. Vince don't. Yes, it benefits Vince because they're not on TV for 90 days, so he thinks it'll hurt you. But in reality, that wrestler benefits on that 90 days of without being seen on television or in the public eye, because you really can't do public appearances either. You can't do nothing for 90 days. You can do Twitch, whoopee-doo, but that's on Twitch, sometimes you could do a signing, you just got to get the green light from Vince saying that it's okay for you to do a signing, because you still technically are still employed by them for 90 more days. If you take that 90 days away, say the Usos get released, right? And there's no 90-day clause. No one's going to give two shits if they would show up 2 days later at AEW. No one's going to care if they show up at Impact. No one's going to care if they show up on ROH, New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's not to knock them. I think the Usos will blow the world up if they left WWE and went to work somewhere else. But that 90 days is that big, where are they going to go? For 3 months, you're wondering, are they going to New Japan Pro Wrestling? Are they going to go to ROH? Are they going to AEW? Or are they going to end up at Impact? That 90 days, I love, because there's so many twists and turns. You don't know where it's going to end up. One could go back to WWE, and one could be leaving. You never know.
Like the only thing about those 90-day clauses is that one, okay, the social media rumor mill opens up widely, and anything could be said, anything could be twisted, and it benefits WWE because then you got them off the air. So if they had good momentum and something happens where there's a disagreement with the company and they end up leaving, you kill their momentum then, so that way they pop up. But if they're doing something else that's not wrestling related, that's keeping them in the loop, then okay, especially with the social media when they can post random stuff out there. But here, what I have here, I have it highlighted. The Biden administration says that such contracts drive down the wages and makes it harder for employees to switch companies for better paying jobs or conditions. Now, if there's a position or something like that and they want you in right away to come in there, but you got a 90 days, you're lucky if they wait for you. Sometimes they'll just go on to the next person to take your spot, and then okay, we had a spot for you, but you couldn't come over. Now this guy has your spot.
Here's
So
the thing.
It could hurt them, the performers themselves. It could hurt them at home themselves because
I don't think it hurts them. I think it benefits them. They benefit from that 90 days. Look, so the RV place I worked at, right? That was in Hamburg. I had to sign a no contest clause. I could not work for another RV dealership within 100 miles. Or no, not 100 miles, 30 miles. So there's an RV dealership right down the street from them called Schaefer's. Could not work for them. Not if I wanted to. Now there was 2 RV dealerships by my house. They would allow me to work for them because they were like, they're by your house. We're not going to fault you from working close to home. So there's ways out of it. There's ways to get out of that no contest clause. But you got to make it to where Vince benefits from it. You got to do it where, Impact benefits from it. And NXT, like, everybody has to benefit off of that. You can't just go, screw you, I'm going to go do what I want. I've seen 2 people from the RV industry try to go work for another company, and they got taken to court, and they lost. Because you signed that agreement. You agreed to that. They're not forcing you to sign that agreement. So no matter what the government wants, Vince can still have you sign that clause. Well, you legally don't have to, and they don't have to legally hire you.
Well, I know for a fact right now, probably Vince's lawyers are probably on his shit list for the whole Aleister Black incident. Looking over his contract.
I honestly don't think it was the lawyers. I think it was the gentleman that was in charge of all of them that was on the Total Divas show that got fired. Because he's one of those main guys that reads those contracts, and he let it go. Aleister Black just signed whatever hey, you signed it. They could have caught it at any time that he was there. You don't think those lawyers go over those contracts once a year with those workers? Like, hey, look, the whole Selena Vega thing. They all had to re-sign new contracts with the whole you can't do your third stream party. You had to sign an agreement. You're telling me that they never caught it with one of those things. He has more than one lawyers looking over this paperwork. So the whole company screwed up. It's not just its lawyers. The entire company screwed up. They didn't just screw up. They dropped the ball because AEW effing benefit majorly from it. Majorly. Do I think he should have stayed off another 2 months from TV? Absolutely.
Yeah,
but you got to feed your family.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, no. I agree. Like, hey, you have 30 days. He paid you for 30 more days, and then you go work for AEW. Cool, sweet. Sign my contract after my day's up, and I'm gonna pop up on TV. Just like how the internet's blowing up. That girl showed up on Monday Night Raw and AEW on the same time. Like, hey guys, it wasn't. It was taped. First off, they're both taped episodes. And indie talent aren't under any agreements that they can't go and work for other promotions at all. They can do whatever the hell they want. They are an independent contractor. So if people are blowing all this up like, oh my God, it's the greatest thing ever. Like, what? She didn't do it. It wasn't live television. It'd be different if it was like she was on NXT live on television, but was on AEW as well, and they're both live at the same time. That'd be different. That would be pretty goddamn badass if you ask me. But she didn't do anything that not any ordinary person would have done. Hey, I'll tape Raw on Monday, drive on down to Jacksonville and tape and do AEW.
I think the hottest one I'm sure you guys will agree with me on this one. Hands down, ain't no one can deny this, not even you. The hottest person to jump ship from one show to the other show had to be Rick Rude when he appeared on Monday Night Raw, and then next thing you know, you turn the channel over to WCW,
WCW.
and there he is, showed up. Then I was like, yo, ain't nobody in history has done it like him.
Luger.
Which Raw was taped anyway. No, but
Yep.
Luger turned up the week after. I'm talking about in the same night on televised in the same night.
No one's done it.
Way. No
Nobody.
way. I got someone better.
Only Rick Rude, only because
No.
Raw was taped, and then he jumped over. He just so it was being broadcast, and then he's showing up on the other broadcast. So it is.
That's a good one.
But
That's a good one, but no, that's a good one. But still, to me, I was the younger one. It's still when Hall Nash came to WCW. That to me blew my mind. Like when they came
we're
over.
talking about that nice quick jump.
Oh yeah.
You know, they didn't jump right away. They teased the idea of them going in. So, but gentlemen, it is getting late. I know we spoke about trying to cut down the show a little bit because we all get up. Dennis, I know you were telling me that.
Yeah.
Pat, thank you for coming in when you did. Sorry you couldn't be here right away in the beginning.
I enjoyed it.
You made it here. I want to thank T.Reyes for showing up again. Second week in a row, he's on the team.
Showing up.
Right.
He's only on the show because he convinced you to pick him up.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking shots. Hey, listen. It's nice having somebody else in the business on the show, that actually understands wrestling and, appreciates it as much as we all do. So, T.I., I appreciate you coming on and keep coming on. So.
T.Reyes had to pick up Chio in that dark heart over so many years.
Heavy load.
Just a heads up, guys, for upcoming events. WXW is postponed their July 17th show. They're actually going to return August 28th, and it's going to be up in Sunbury with Rikishi going to be there. So you're going to get to see the head trainers.
First of all, I got a beef. I'm getting beef. I'm reading some of these comments here. First of all, my man Tom Kelly, who is a podcaster of
there we go.
What's it?
I want a shot at the title, Frankie Frizzo.
Yeah, Tom Kelly. Passing that Fanatics. Catch him 9 a.m. on Saturdays talking Philly sports. But yeah, how dare he come on here taking shots of one Frankie Frizzo? Who the hell does he think he is? You know what I mean? He needs to sit down, relax, and think through before you call out Frankie Frizzo. You know what I mean? Think it through.
Tom, listen, it's not a hard thing to do to beat Frankie Frizzo. I've beat him twice out of 3 times. So you could definitely have the title, but you got to beat me first because he never got it back from me.
You shut up, Dennis. No one asked you. You're a wrestler.
Let's just say that those wins, Dennis, was a clean sweep. And speaking of clean, Ryan Smitty said, and clean that room.
Well, I don't want to hang out with Smitty no more. I don't want to hang out with him no more. Dennis, he's too much of a problem.
Funny. No, that was way too much fun that night. Way too much fun. By the way, on the Denver sports stuff, the gentleman you have coming on, Stasiak, his wife works for my company.
Really?
So before you announced it, no BS, I was going to message it. I was going to text his wife because she's one of our designers about getting him on one of your shows. No joke.
Yeah, I'm good friends with him, so.
So we'll talk after this about him and his wife.
Yes, sir. Good shove, Smitty.
So, Pat, now that we actually have you here, because we didn't have you in the studio when we were at Last Out Media, give us a rundown on some of the new shows that are coming to Devereaux Sports.
Now this is where I
Because we have the basic ones that we already been talking about. Gobbler Inc., Sullivan, Breakfast and Body Slam, Devereaux Sports Plus, and you had the list of the rest of them.
Yeah, this is where I get myself in the wet t-shirt contest because we have just now picked up some business. First of all, we have, like you mentioned, the Breast and Bioslams, the Gobbler Inc., the Solvent Squad, the Deborah Sports Plus. We also have old school for guys who want to talk old school wrestling, old school sports from the 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s. Check them out once a month, Saturday mornings. They're going to be popping. Um, you got then you got the UFC team. If you guys like MMA, boxing, my cousin Dave will have that covered for you. After every big, huge pay-per-view, he sits there. He diverses everything. He breaks it all down. He analyzes every fight that goes on. So, um, listen, it's good stuff. I mean, those guys are already also a great start. So again, we have a UFC team. We have an old school team. We're now, like I said, we got the pro wrestling team, and we got of course, the Philly sports team. So, like I said, business are picking up here on Devereaux Sports. And last week we had 6 shows that ran 6. That was the first time ever, and that had nothing to do with me. Only one time Friday, but still, um, majority was just you guys. It was you guys filling in, and a lot of my people ask me, "Are you gonna be honest? Only one show, and I have to do anything." You guys did a smooth job. I mean, you guys do a smooth job here on the Bruss and Buy Slams. The UFC guys, Dave, Chris, and Bob, they do a great job there. The old school with the John, Joe, and my dad and his uncle do another great job. So I mean, like you said, business are going to be booming. I have a vision. I have I have a way to keep on bringing more and more products to Devereaux Sports, and that's what I'm looking towards.
Oh, sweet, sweet. Dennis, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Brother, you can give us your plug on your race you're doing?
Yes, I'll plug it every Thursday. So just started recently a couple weeks ago. It's called the Great Cycle Challenge. Basically, what we do is from now until the end of September, we raise money for childhood cancer. But not just that, I pledge to raise $2,500. But for the month of September, I have to ride a bicycle 600 miles. So basically, now I'll let everybody know where I'm going to start. I'll be starting in Pottstown, PA, weekly, and riding from there all the way to Conshohocken, then Conshohocken to the Art Museum to Citizens Bank Park, Citizens Bank Park to River Casino, and then on and do it all the way back. It's 100 miles. I plan on doing that 4 times. On top of that, I plan on being in the gym on the bike because that counts as well as riding on another day. So I plan on hitting 600 miles and beating it. You can go to greatcyclechallenge.com and you can type in my name, Dennis Brandow, on search for a rider. If you have me on Facebook, you can find it on there. I'll post a link in the Breakfast and Body Slams page as well. But on top of that, on July 24th, like me and Chio keep saying, is the Legends of Hamburg show. And what I'm doing there to raise money for that bike race is every photo that I sell personally of mine to the fans, they are $20. Every $10 of that $20 will go right to charity. I will literally physically pull up the app, and you can go right to there and pay the $10 and just hand me 10 for the photo. But whatever's left of my money is pretty much going to go right to that charity, no matter what. Like, I plan on hitting $2,500 before September. Like, my goal is to hit it by the end of January or July. Like, period. No jokes. If I hit $2,500, that's a lot of money to childhood cancer research. And, we have plenty of people that deal with cancer daily. Thankfully, they've beat it. But some kids going through it, it's not very fun. It's not enjoyable. No kid should have to go through that. So every dollar counts, every dime counts. So, if you guys can help out, that'd be great.
Sweet, awesome. And coming up next week, we are actually gonna be well, me and you, Dennis, we're going to be at the Legends of Hamburg Fan Fest in Hamburg, PA. People can go online for tickets at legendsofhamburg.com. Tickets are only $15 for the Fan Fest, or $20 where you can get the general admission to see Outbreak Wrestling. You can go on
Yeah.
to Outbreak Wrestling for just their show, which is $15. So it benefits you greatly if you just get the combo and save $10.
Yes, and don't.
Yeah, you want. And next week, besides that going on in Hamburg on the 24th on Saturday, we will have next Thursday. Our guest on the show will be Live Wire Ryan Vox. He is the booker, the pen, the I don't know, the commissioner. I don't know what to call him.
He's one of the two guys that are in charge of Outbreak Wrestling, but he's the mystery behind it all.
He's the guy who likes to wear a suit with a slick back hair, who likes to make a mess in the ring and have a beer badge. That's who he is.
Hey, Bud Light's a good beer.
He'll be on the show next week, folks. So, and let's not forget, August 1st, basketball will be in Trenton, New Jersey. Hillsborough Faces. Check them out on Facebook. You can look it up. Just look up basketball 2021 Hillsborough Faces. You can actually, if you can't make it to the show, or if you need tickets, go to Eventbrite, or you can go to the GoFundMe and donate, and just keyword basketball 2021. But everyone, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming in and helping a brother out. Dennis, Pat, Pat, you were gonna say something?
Yes, don't forget Saturday. Don't please, and what you guys wrote in the chat, please. I help my brother, pray for him. He talks like an idiot 24/7. You had him once on the Breakfast and Bioslim show. You see, he talked. And I'm talking about not Michael, Chucky. He talks like an idiot, but he's going to be running his show Saturday at 9 a.m. and then it's me on Sunday night, Sunday at 9 a.m. for Goblin Ring.
All right, you heard it here, folks. Tune
But
in
please,
to
please,
Devereaux Sports.
please pray for my brother. He's an idiot. Please. He
Well,
makes Dennis look intelligent.
Well, we already got Mike Frizzo, the better Bernard, the Saint Bernard.
Right. That's why we go.
But yeah, T.Reyes, I'm Chio
T,
Cross,
my man.
Pat the Gobbler, Dennis Reaper. This is Breakfast and Body Slams presents Thursday Night Slam, and we're gonna let you people go with this highlight of Outbreak Wrestling. So this is Outbreak. See you all at the matches. Thank you.